doing business with God is so. I was telling somebody earlier, I don't know how people run a business without the Lord in it because there are just so many things where you really need to lean into his voice and on guidance and direction and how you're responding to things, how you're responding to yourself.
Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I'm your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Hey friends, welcome back to the show. I can't wait to introduce you to today's Turquoise Talk guest, Mercedes Eckert. We had a great conversation talking about mompreneurship, talking about mystery shopping. Like I told her, I didn't even realize that mystery shopping was still around, but that was super fun to talk about. We talked about faith-driven leadership. What does that actually look like? So let me tell you a little bit about Mercedes. She is the founder and CEO of iShop AGP, which is the fastest growing mystery shopping network in the US. She's a former marketing executive turned entrepreneur and helps families build flexible AI-proof income by turning everyday errands into paid opportunities. She has empowered over 17,000 people to earn on their own terms without sacrificing faith, family, and freedom. Y'all know I'm all about that here on this podcast. And she's been featured on CBS, Fox, NBC. And she has that faith-driven approach to side hustles and entrepreneurship, which is why I wanted her to come on the show. So without further ado, meet Mercedes. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we have a Turquoise Talk guest, Mercedes Eckert. So thank you so much, Mercedes, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah. So tell everyone just a little bit about you, your family, and how you got into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am located here in Indiana. I am the founder of a mystery shopping organization called iShop. I am married with two children, young adults. Can you believe it? It's crazy. But here we are. And I really started my entrepreneurship journey. Oh, good Lord, a long time ago. If you ask my mom, she'll tell you I was, selling things and starting businesses from the time, I could walk around the block by myself. So my first real business legally when I became an adult, that was 2012. And
Okay.
ever since then, I have been living the entrepreneur dream, dabbling in a little bit of everything and kind of settled in where I am now. Found something that just lights me up.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, you
Oh,
know?
for sure.
And you just have to get started. I think so many times, like we're like, what's the perfect entrepreneurial business to start? And sometimes you just
Mm.
don't know. I mean, my background is in direct sales. So I started in direct sales and was in direct sales for 16 years, but I would have never dreamt that's what I would do,
Mm.
until I just got started with it. And for me, it was just like I needed a hobby. I wasn't really looking for a business. I was looking for something for myself to do and something to have fun and to connect with some other women. And there's just so many opportunities. There's so many different ways for you to bring in some extra income if that's what you're about, or if you want to build a full-blown career in entrepreneurship. So you just have to get started.
Absolutely. I think there's so many side hustles out there. We kind of get like, oh my gosh, there's that. And then
Mm.
you get so overwhelmed, and some of us just don't do anything. Others try everything all at once. And so, I mean, there definitely are different approaches, but there is a perfect fit for you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You just got to be willing to get started and try different things. So I
Yes.
know like you kind of shared that in the beginning that you tried different things. And for someone who's listening that maybe, they see entrepreneurs and they see the life. I'm like, let me just be honest. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's a roller coaster ride. There's ups and downs and upside down moments. But you can really, it's really can be a joyful ride too. But for someone who's listening and they're just trying to get that first step, what were some of your first steps into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, absolutely. So, really just finding something you like to do.
Hmm.
I started with what was pretty much in front of me. The very first business that I started in 2012 was a babysitting business. At the
Hmm.
time, I was everybody's go to babysitter. And I thought, how could I duplicate myself? You know, like I can't possibly babysit everybody's children at the same time. So I actually started a babysitting service. And so I talk a lot to entrepreneurs or people who want to get into entrepreneurship about starting with what is in front of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it just starts with something you're already doing or something that you like and go from there.
Yeah. I'm thinking about both of my boys. So both my boys, well, one's 17 and the other one is 20. So I think you said both of yours are adult too. So,
Yeah, they're literally the same age. So I've got two girls, 17 and
okay.
19.
Okay. Mine are
Yeah,
boys. So I
I
don't have
love it.
any girl
Yeah,
energy. I'm outnumbered even down to the dog in my house. It's all boys.
I love it.
Um, but they both, like my 20-year-old went to college, his first year and then just decided it was not for him. And I told him, I said, I just want you to go so you know, and you
Mhm.
won't be guessing, should I have gone? And, would it have been for me? Because I loved my college opportunity. I loved my college years.
Mm.
But he came home and he started his own window washing business and he literally goes door to door. Like it takes me back to when I was going door to door to sell candy bars. I don't know if you
Mhm.
ever did that in the school, the world's best chocolate.
Oh, for sure, for
Or the
sure.
magazines. And I'm thinking like what parent would let their child go up to all of these strangers' doors and sell magazines and all of these things, but you just didn't have to worry about as much as you do today. Anyway,
Right.
and I love that he is totally figuring it out as he's going. I mean, he has a little bit of a plan because a friend of his is the one who kind of got him into it. And then my
Mm.
17-year-old, kind of to the point of what you were saying, like just start with what's in front of you and what you're really good at. They're completely different boys. My
Mm.
youngest he started a car detailing business because he loves to clean. Like he is organized and cleaning and like he's got people on a retainer. I'm like, at 17, I
Oh,
didn't know what
wow.
it was.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
it's just so cool. So he's still probably going to pursue college, but it's just been really interesting to watch them at their ages just pick and go. And I
Hmm.
think, as we get older, we lose that like fearless, just pick and go. Like especially a lot of the women that are listening, are we have that perfectionistic tendencies. We have to have all the plans and all the details to get started. And they're both just kind of like rolling with it. And it's really been inspiring to me as their mother, but also just as a fellow entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. Kids are fearless. A lot of them. Yeah. I mean, it's great because you're like, I wish I would do that, like,
Yeah.
because we play out everything in our minds, like, oh,
Yeah.
well, this will happen, that'll happen. Man, they know how to go for it.
They do. They know how to dream big. I think somewhere along
Yeah.
the way, like the older we get, the more life happens to us, and it just kind of pushes down that dream or pushes down that passion. And
Yes.
just did a keynote today for some women in telecom, and we were talking about like, when's the last time you asked yourself, what do I want? And just
Good.
really spend some time thinking about that question. And it doesn't always have to turn into a business, but just giving yourself that permission, that space to dream about what could be possible, what's right in front of you, like you said, that you could monetize or that you could just let it be a passion project for you.
Right. Yeah. I hear from a lot of women who are kind of in that same boat. You get so caught up in like doing the day-to-day things that you've got to
Yeah.
do as being a woman, a wife, a mom, and then you forget like asking yourself what you said, like, what do you want? So
Yes.
it's very
Yes.
important to ask yourself that and go get it.
Yeah, and actually answer it, right? Like
Yeah.
I think we
Hmm.
ask sometimes we ask these questions, but we don't spend the time actually answering it. So it's a really,
Right.
really great question. So tell the people who are listening what exactly mystery shopping is. We were talking a little
Yeah,
bit
absolutely.
beforehand, but yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of people have heard of it. They've either heard of mystery shopping or secret shopping, which, by the
yeah.
way, is it's the same thing. And basically, a mystery shopper is somebody who gets paid to go into businesses undercover. They pretend to be a regular customer, but what the employees don't know is you're actually there to evaluate the experience you have. And so in
Mhm.
exchange for your evaluation, you are paid. And so I've been a mystery shopper myself for over 12 years. I have gotten paid to go to all sorts of places, gas
Mhm.
stations, movie theaters, casinos, hotels, car dealerships, salons, spas. I mean, you name it, just about any business you can think of is willing to pay you for your in exchange for your feedback.
Yeah. And how does that work? Like I guess let's say someone's listening, like, oh, that sounds like fun. Like I love to shop and I love to
Mhm.
go visit all these places. Like, how does that work? Like, do you go through an agency? Do you go through the companies? Like, give us a little
Yeah.
bit about what the steps are.
Yeah, absolutely. So my company is considered a mystery shopping organization. So what we do, our job is to recruit and train mystery shoppers. And I think you said it yourself, like you didn't know how to get started. You heard of it, but you kind of went
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Like that's kind of everybody's thing. Like, yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know how to get started. That is when an MSO comes into play, where you go, you get your training, and then they connect you with the jobs and you get sent out. It is flexible, so people get to do
Yeah.
it on their own time. But you go out and you go do the shops, and you get paid by the companies. So
Okay.
it's
That's so
pretty.
fun.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like once you break it all down, I think it just has had like a negative reputation because of a lot of scammers that came in. But I mean,
Mhm.
to be truthful, it's been around since the 40s. So
Really?
yes, it isn't new. It's just the people, the good guys that have been running the industry haven't done the best marketing job, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So we're trying to rewrite the story for this industry.
Yeah. And you've been doing this one for how long, did you say?
Um, I've been a mystery shopper for over 12 years, and then the company I founded has been in business 10.
Okay. Awesome. And all over the country.
Yeah, so we service North America. So we recruit shoppers in Canada and the US and yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll put links in the show notes so people can reach out to you if that's something that they're interested in. So tell me, like, on your journey into this business, what have you found to be like, oh, I wish I would have known this beforehand?
Do I have to just pick one? Because
Right?
like probably could write a book, like everything I wish I knew before becoming an entrepreneur.
Yes. It's
Good
like, what
night.
is the book about the pregnancy? What is, the book?
Oh, everything you should know. It's something like everything you should know before having a baby, something like that.
I
I
can
can
see
see the
the
actual
image on the
the
book.
yes, I can, but I'm like it's something like that.
Something like that. Yes.
So I would say, oh my gosh, okay, let me just pick a one or two. First off, I would say I wish that I would have known how much you'd actually be involved with the people, not just transactional based business, but you're really servicing people. You are helping people. And when people are involved, things can get a little, touchy feely. They can get like messy because emotions are involved. And so
Mhm.
I wish that I would have known that. I think on this journey, I've learned over time, like, and my prayer has always been like, God, give me wisdom as
Mhm.
situations arise because I know that they will and it never fails. I'm like, there is no handbook for how to handle this, right?
Right.
And so that's
Yeah.
when you need the Holy Spirit, you need wisdom to come in to help you navigate the people. So
Because
that's a big
people,
one.
right?
People. So
That could
that
be a
that
book
one's a
too.
really big one.
That
Yeah,
could be a book
probably.
too.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
that one's probably just right now, I feel like that's the biggest one I could say.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things we talk about a lot here on the podcast is burnout because I believe that it is become so normalized in entrepreneurship, especially for mompreneurs who are, building businesses, taking care of the household, feeling like I have to carry the weight of both my professional life and my home life. And it's just become so normalized that this is just the way you're supposed to be operating. And from my own perspective and from my experience, it's common, but it doesn't have to be the norm. So I always like to ask guests who come on the show, well, if you have experienced burnout before, how did it present for you? And then what were some things that were helpful for you to kind of work out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like this is a really good question, good topic, because like you said, it is common, but it doesn't need to be normal. And just to be completely honest, I am coming out of that, right?
Okay.
And
Yep.
what I think has been key for me is implementing processes and the right people, right, to
Mhm.
help you when it comes to your team. Because I know personally, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, or I can do it. Like sometimes it's easier, especially us as women, we're like, let me just do it because
Yep.
I can do it faster than it'll take me to teach you to do it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we get caught in that. I'm so guilty. And so really just letting go and being like, okay, maybe I can do this faster and better than
Mhm.
this person on my team, but I have to give them a chance to do it,
Yeah.
to fail until they rise up and they're doing it better than I'm doing. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of times it comes down to like giving yourself grace and letting go a little bit of
Mhm.
what we hold on to so tightly in running our business because we want it a certain way and it's okay to want it a certain way, but let others help you. I know personally, I'm just like a doer, I get it done. Like I will take on everybody's responsibility and more. And
Yep.
you have to learn not to do that. And it's hard
Yeah.
sometimes letting go, because you feel like, well, I can help, I can do this, but it's other people's responsibility, or let that be their responsibility and you take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think all of that is a mindset, right? All of that starts with what are your beliefs about delegating? What are your
Mm.
beliefs about letting go of the control? Most of us as high ambitious women, we like control.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we're holding on to the remote control so tight. And like we
Hmm.
want to control all the things in our life. But I also like to for me, the mind shift for me with delegating was I'm giving someone else the opportunity to use their God-given talents, right? And so if I am trying to do everything, that I'm not giving someone else the opportunity to operate in their talents and use the things that God's gifted them, and I'm giving them an opportunity to make money, right? If I'm hiring
Hmm.
help. So those two thoughts really helped me shift into that delegation mode a little bit more. But I do think it's so true. We just try to do all the things and be all things to everyone. And you
Hmm.
have to shift that, or you will be in burnout, and then you'll learn, right? You're going to learn one way or the other.
One way or the other, for sure.
Unfortunately, yeah. So my
Yeah.
goal is that you don't learn the hard way, but sometimes we're all hard-headed, and sometimes we just have to. The Lord just has to put us on our back for us to realize, okay, I need to surrender some of this.
Yes. Yes. It's so true. And doing business with God is so, I was telling somebody earlier, I don't know how people run a business without the Lord in it
Yeah.
because there are just so many things where you really need to lean into his voice and on guidance and direction and how you're responding to things, how you're responding to yourself,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And
definitely.
trusting, right? And trusting that he's working it all out. Because,
Yeah,
we want the results yesterday. And he's like, yeah, but
exactly.
more for you to learn
Exactly.
on this journey. So, I always like to say entrepreneurship is the biggest personal development journey you'll ever go on, because I am not the same person that I was 20 years ago when I first became an entrepreneur. And that's the biggest blessing of the whole thing is the person that I've become in the process. And I'm super thankful for that. And for my kids to be able to watch me, work hard and fail and watch me do the things that I've had to do in entrepreneurship and bringing them along for the journey. There's no doubt that's the reason why they're also in entrepreneurship so early, is they've seen
Yes.
it. They don't know anything different. My husband has his own business too. So it's a family business. It's a family affair, including
Love
the
that.
so yeah.
Yes, I love that so
So
much.
as you've come out of it, what have you noticed? Like, do you feel like there were specific things that you did outside of delegating, like, did you do anything else to help you kind of realign back and get out of that burnout? Hey, friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure, it's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up, and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
I honestly cannot say enough positive things about coaching with Martine. From the very first session, I knew this was something different. The deep dive into who I am and why I operate the way I do per the ProScan results has helped me immensely and allowed me to embrace my unique qualities on various levels. I would 1000% recommend hiring her for whatever level of transformation you're looking for.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martinewilliams.com with 3 times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show.
Honestly, I hired myself a business coach.
Okay.
And that helped tremendously having somebody to bounce off like all the things that are on my mind, because you can't really do that with your team and your family doesn't understand,
No.
so you need somebody who is there to be a sounding board with sound advice. And so that's helped, even when you kind of start to like squirrel away from the trail, like you
Yeah.
said, yeah, you can delegate, but then there are times where you pick the reins back up. And
Mhm.
so having a business coach has really helped in like, hold on, Mercedes, you're veering back. Like,
Yeah.
let it
Yeah.
go. So that actually has been really strategic. And, with everything that I've done to get out of that burnout mode, I've been able to like go down to, a schedule that is not 150 hours a week, and actually having time off of work. So that's good as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was sharing a story today, and I'll make it super short because I've shared it on another previous episode of, we find what we're looking for, but sometimes we need to bring in that support, that extra support, and that extra, like the person who's been there, gone before us, has the experience, maybe has some tools that we don't have, has perspectives that we don't have, and that is how I like to think about coaching or masterminding or just. You're like you said, your friends and family just don't understand. If they're not an entrepreneur, they don't understand. They want to and they try to, bless their hearts, but they just don't, right? They just can't understand it. And so having someone that has that expertise to see your blind spots. It's the I don't know about you, but for me, it's just that feeling of support. Like I just know
Yes.
I'm supported. And so for me, it's no longer of who, like if I'm going to have a coach, it's who's going to be my coach. It's part
Right.
of my business plan now, right? It's part of my success strategy because I know I can go further faster when I have someone to help me get out of my own head and swirling with these ideas and actually help me to implement. Because most of us don't have a knowledge problem, we have an implementation problem. So
Oh, for sure. For
having a
sure.
coach to help you or a community of entrepreneurs who get it, who understand it,
Mhm.
have values the same things that you do to help push you along is super important. So I'm glad you brought that up because I think so many women haven't found their people or they just have the belief I can do this all on my own.
Right. Oh no. You
Yeah.
need people. You know, you need it. Like I think I don't know about you, but in the beginning it was just me,
Yeah.
doing all the things. And then you realize, oh my goodness, there's
Hmm.
no way. There's no way humanly possible to do all the things and do them well,
Yeah.
not be burned out, not be just and how are you going to grow? How do
Yeah.
you grow? So it's a big part. Having a team, having a support system, all the things, very important.
Yeah. And just like we said in the very beginning with just getting started, if that's where you're at and you need the support, just start small. Like you don't, my very first hire, I remember it was like 10 hours a week. It wasn't like I jumped into a 40-hour position, with a
Right.
full-time copywriter or, any of that. It's like sometimes it's project based, right? So
Yeah.
what do you need right now? What does your business need right now? What do you
Yeah.
need? Maybe it's just delegation at home, hiring
That's what I was going to say.
a housekeeper. That was my very first
Yes.
thing. And I still have one today and it's amazing.
Yes. Yes, outsource the household chores. I'm down for that. And one thing too, if you do have children, like teenage children that can help, sometimes like right now, I've got my daughter is helping me put labels and stamps on 5,000 postcards. I don't have the time to do that. So even something small like that, getting
Yeah,
some help. So it really
yeah,
does help.
yeah. And one thing to for the list, whoever's listening today to think about when you think about is who do I need to hire next? Or even if it's not who do I need to hire next, if you're not ready to do that, what I did first was really just as I was doing things, Mercedes, I was like, okay, is this only something I can do? Or could someone else be doing it? So just start making a list of all the things that you're doing. And are you the only one that can do that or has to do that? Because there's a lot of things you're probably in your mind thinking, oh, only I can do this, versus there's probably someone else and maybe even free help living in your home.
Yes,
Could be doing
exactly.
it, right?
You choose what flavor of ice cream you want tonight. My coach actually told me not too long ago about a method called, I don't know if you've heard of it, called the DAD method. Have you heard
No,
of that? Okay.
no.
So she said, so whenever you have a project, a task, something, before you just go out and do it, ask yourself, can it be delegated, automated, or am I the only person that can do it? Do it yourself. So I was
Okay.
like, oh, that's really simple. And so now I use it all the time. Before I just jump into something out of habit, I'm like, hold on, can this be delegated? Can this be automated? And
Yeah.
there you go. So,
I love that. So
yeah.
simple. So
Hmm.
simple. We overcomplicate things sometimes. That's super simple.
Hmm.
So I know one of the things that you talk about or that you kind of one of your core things is faith-driven leadership. So tell us a little bit about what you mean when you talk about faith-driven leadership.
Yeah. So for me, that is, I am a Christian. I don't shy away from my beliefs and my faith. And so everything I do, especially when leading my team, leading, our shoppers, it is all driven from my core belief system and values and faith. And so doing business with God, as we talked about earlier, and letting God um, walk alongside of you. Well, really, He needs to be leading,
That's
but
right.
but going to Him
Mhm.
for advice, and a lot of times we could go run to a business coach and say, "What do I do?" or run to Chat GPT now, and what do I do? Don't ever lose that connection with God when it comes to your business and asking Him how to lead in specific areas, situations, and things like that. So I am very vocal about who I
Mhm.
serve and
Yep.
how I would have nothing without God. I
Yeah.
never grew up and said, "Oh, well, one day I want to be a mystery shopper and I want to own a like this is all Him." And so at the end of the day, I always have to remember, like through all any stress that arises from running the business, God, this is what you put before me. This is what I'm doing, being a good steward over. So I'm going to follow you as I lead others.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Also, as a woman of faith, like one of the things that I think as women of faith, we have this just intuition, right? We have this just general sense of, because we're in tune with the spirit of what's next, right? Like what's next and
Mhm.
leaning into that. And it's actually a part of a personality trait too. And it's interesting with the pro scan that I use in my one-on-one coaching that shows what you're like, how you make your decisions. All of the women that I coach, not all of them are in the faith, but the ones who are, they have a strong sense of intuition. And it's always interesting to see that like on the graph, like they're just really strong in their intuition. And so when we make decisions based on that, and other people are like, how could you make that decision? Or how could you do that? I'm like, I just have an inner sense. Like, I just know that this is what God is telling me to do. Even if this business coach is telling me to do this, right? For
Hmm.
example, like right now, I really am just feeling led to do more in-person stuff. Like I'm just not really loving the online space at this particular time. I know my strength is people. And when I get to interact with them like this on a podcast, or if I'm keynote speaking, or if I'm out speaking at churches or whatever, like that's where my energy is right now. It's not that I don't know how to online market, because I do. I've been doing it for 20
Hmm.
years. But I have to just trust that intuition, right? And trust that that's where God's got me right now. And even though He hasn't come out with a loud, megaphone saying, Martine, you need to be in the public. That's not what He's saying, but I'm hearing, right? And He's putting
Yes.
passion in my
Hmm.
heart to connect with people in a different way. And I just think there's so much value to that if you're willing to listen. And if
For
you're willing,
sure.
yeah, to move in that space versus, well, this is what everyone else is telling me to do.
Yeah, you've got to be sensitive. And I think that you said a pro scan is what you do.
Mhm.
That's amazing that you're seeing those results because I do. I mean, there are some times where I'm able to make a very fast decision with a lot of peace.
Mhm.
God doesn't always have to take a week or 2 weeks or a month or a year.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
When you're walking alongside him, you already know, him. You,
yeah, yeah.
you have
And
that
that's what we
voice, you have that feeling.
Yeah, and that's what we find like with the more intuitive decision makers is they make faster decisions because they just have that inner sense. Like, they say trust your gut and go. Like people that have that faith and have that intuition can do that. And
Yeah,
sometimes we can be labeled impulsive because we are able to make faster decisions, but it's not that we're impulsive. It's just we just know that we know. It may not
right.
make sense to anyone else, but it makes sense to us, right?
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
yeah, it's
I
really cool
love
to
that.
really to be able to affirm people in their decision making style and just say there's nothing crazy about you. This is part of your faith, is you just
Yeah,
have that inner sense and that feeling. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that.
yeah. So tell me, what do you do for fun, Mercedes? Like I think a lot of women that are on this podcast and guests that I've interviewed, or just entrepreneurship as a whole, we are so focused on the business that sometimes we lose sight of who Mercedes is, right? Or what's fun for her, or what would she do if there was not a productive end to it. So, what are some things that you like to do that are just fun for you? Because so many women don't know how to answer that question. And if you don't, that's okay. We can talk about it, but
No,
not to put
no,
you on the spot.
no,
But yeah.
no. As silly as it may sound, like one of my favorite places on earth is the library, and I will go grab my library card. I'll go pick out some books. I'll read a little bit there, and then I'll bring them home. I love to read. I love to sit outside and read. Reading is like my thing. Okay. So it
Okay.
makes me, yeah, it makes me feel just like I'm able to let go and
Yes.
just kind of get lost in the book. I like a lot of fiction.
I was going to
So I
ask you,
read
is
a
it
lot of
fiction
fiction,
or nonfiction?
definitely fiction. So, yeah, actually, the Lord was like, 2025, you're not reading any fictional books. And I'm like, no, like
Oh,
this is my go-to, but I'll be back. But yes, I love fiction. And then of course, traveling. I
Mm.
love to travel and visit new places and see new, scenery, and those things just make me really happy.
Yeah, I love that. I like to read too, but I've really had to stretch myself into the fictional world because everything I read, like, because I didn't grow up someone who loved to read. And so when I got into reading, it was like, if it's not going to make me a better person, I'm not wasting my time reading.
That's hilarious. I was the opposite. Like I don't want to read anything if it's got like I want to read and escape. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, and I have really good friends that read nothing but fiction. They're like, Martine, it's brain candy. Like you just need to
Yes.
let go and read. I'm like, it just feels like such a waste of time. And so I'm in a book club right now, and most
Ooh.
of them read fiction. And I'm like one of the
Hmm.
only ones that read nonfiction. I said, okay, I'll play in your sandbox if you'll come play in my sandbox and read some nonfictional books with me. But anyway, it's always just really interesting when I talk to people who read what they're reading, fictional or fiction or nonfiction. But I'm trying. And I really tell you what helped me flip the switch on that was realizing that it's no different than when I watch a show on Netflix. Like watching
Right.
a show on Netflix is not making me a better person.
Right. No, it's so true.
But I'm like, if I'm reading, it needs to be like a productive use of my time. And so now that I see it as the same, I'm like, oh, okay, I can read something fictional. It's just finding the right ones. Like, what are your
Mhm.
favorite fictional authors?
Mary Higgins Clark. Does like, well, she has passed away over a couple years ago. She passed away, but I love her books. They're like thriller, mystery.
Okay.
I love a good suspense that's got
Me too. Yeah.
yeah. So when I was younger, I read like all the Nancy Drew books. And
Me
so,
too. Yeah. Yep.
yes, that's
Okay.
just my thing. I love a good, good mystery. So that's typically what I'll read is mystery.
Okay. I did read The Women. I don't know if you read that book.
I've not
Historical.
heard of it.
It's historical fiction. I forget. I think it's Kristen Hahn or Kristen Han.
Okay, I'll have to
But
look into it.
it's thick, but it's all about the women of Vietnam.
Oh,
It's
wow.
amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Go
have
read it.
to add that to my
I can
list.
read it.
Yeah.
You can read it because it's thick and it's not nonfiction or
There we
self-help.
go.
I mean, it's historical fiction, so that still feels real to me. So anyway, yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Love that.
But
Thank
awesome.
you.
Well, as we wrap up, I'd love for you just to, if you could leave the mompreneurs of the podcast world with one final thought about mompreneurship, what would you want to encourage them with?
I honestly would just say do it. Just do it. That thing that you're thinking about that you just like you've been going back and forth for so long, you got to get moving. I'm all in. And unless God is specifically telling you to hold still, right? Because
Yeah.
there are those
Yeah.
times, but there are a lot of times where it's just fear that's paralyzing us because we don't
Hmm.
want to make the wrong decision. Just
Yeah.
try it. You never will know until you do it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just do it is that's my piece of advice for you today.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, one last question I wanted to ask you. What are you most excited about in your own business right now? Like, what do you have going on? What are you most excited about?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, so much. We are actually getting ready to celebrate our 10th year in business, and every year we have a conference. So this year's conference is kind of a big celebration as well, and we have shoppers from all over the U.S. fly in, and it's just a fun weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that event.
That's awesome. Congratulations on 10 years. That's
Thank you.
amazing. That's
Thanks.
amazing. Well, we'll put the links to everything so they can find out more about the mystery shopper and how to join you in that if that's something they want to do. But thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
All right. All right, friends. I'll catch you on the next episode. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.